Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Okay, so we're getting closer and closer. We're now only, I think, about 5 or 6 days away from the Avengers. May 4th. Mark your calendars if you haven't already.
May 3rd if you're going to the movie marathon like us.
Yep. Actually, I'll pull up my official little app. We are 5 days, 7 hours, 19 minutes away from the Avengers. The midnight showing on May 4th in Central Standard Time. So, yeah, we're 5 days away, almost 4. And if you're like us, you could be going to the AMC Marvel Movie Marathon. Check your local AMCs. Also, the AMC website has all the cities and all the available theaters listed. So do that. You pay $40. You get a lanyard.
Yeah, it's like pretty much it looks like a backstage pass from like a concert. At least that's what I'm thinking. That's what it looked like on the AMC website. But you get like the lanyard and you get this little thing that says you're in the movie marathon, which I think is to keep people honest so they're not sneaking in. We get the Avengers 3D glasses. They have Thor, Captain America, Iron Man,
and Hulk.
Which I guess is because they're the main ones, but really they should have a Hawkeye one because that's just...
I'm still a little bummed that they don't have one because, I mean, like, if you're going to think of a Marvel Avengers character with glasses, you're going to think of Hawkeye. Yeah. But, yeah, and you also get, like, a $5 food voucher and everything. It's pretty cool. For $40, I mean, half the tickets are in 3D. You get best seating for the midnight showing.
Maybe we should explain. The Marvel Movie Marathon, guys, is actually every movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe leading up to the Avengers, starting with the first Iron Man, going all the way to Captain America.
And then the midnight
showing.
Oh.
So we get Thor, Captain America, and the Avengers in 3D with the special 3D glasses. And then the other three are, of course, in standard def because they weren't shot in 3D. And so, yeah, you get to watch all of that.
Post-converted.
Whatever. They weren't done in 3D.
Yeah. So
that's actually cool. You get to watch half of them standard, and then you get to watch the other half in 3D, which is cool.
Yeah, so, and you end up even like with all the discounts and everything, you end up paying maybe like $5 a movie ticket. It's pretty cool. It starts at 11:30 in the morning, and goes until after the midnight showing of the Avengers, which is insane. But anyway, the point of this post is to talk about the movie timeline and also to talk about the movie tie-in comics. The first thing I want to mention is that the movie tie-in comics are actually probably the easiest way for you to get into comics, really. And I know we made a video about getting into comics if you've never really read one and want to get into one because of the movies. Definitely. Now, this trade will be probably the best one to get. This is the Road to Marvel's The Avengers trade. It's $24.99. You get all of the Iron Man 1 tie-in comics, all of the Iron Man 2 tie-in comics, and the entire Captain America tie-in comics line. That's every tie-in they've had.
The biggest thing you need to look out for is this here, the Marvel Cinematic Universe official tie-in, rather than just I know that they have Captain America First Vengeance, which looks like it's a tie-in, but it's really just a retelling of the movie. So that's not really what you want to do. Yeah,
these are all set in the same universe. They're just stories that we did not see on camera. Things that'll happen, like
just for example, there's that. I just flipped.
Yeah, there's also, I mean, with the Iron Man ones, there's one that goes through like a bit of the movie, like retelling of the movie, but they've also got what happens immediately after he says that he's Iron Man. There's even like hints at Hammer before Iron Man 2 came out. It's a really great trade if you really are interested in that universe, the Marvel movies universe, and you really want to read more stories about it. It also has great backstories for both Captain America and for Tony Stark. Yeah, and that shows the thing that she's looking at. It shows when Cap and Bucky first meet. It's pretty cool. And
you guys know I love the Bucky, so that was a nice surprise for me.
So and also now you probably like us really excited about the Avengers. You really want to you just want to get like prepared for the movie and you're too anxious to wait, you don't want to wait till May 4th, you want to get into it now, I recommend, I think you could probably, if you're lucky, and if your comic book store stocks up quite well, you might be able to find all 4 issues, and I think they're probably going to be putting them out in a trade at one point in time.
Most likely, but they're good.
Yeah, it's a 4-issue limited series. It's a Fury's Big Week.
You can also get them on the Marvel online.
The Marvel Comics app, it's split into 8 parts, and they're 99 cents each. So, yeah, but if you want to get the full, like, actual purchase the issues, you can get these, and they sell for $2.99 an issue. There's 4 of them. So this is the coolest thing is that their covers, like this one, the first issue cover, is actually a perfect movie verse reproduction of the very first issue of the Avengers. It's really neat. There's the second issue cover.
Very patriotic.
The third. I know it's probably hard to see because of the glare. And then the fourth. Now, the most important thing about these comics and why it is really worth the investment to read these is that it is the first real, true canon chronology of the films and how they had their own kind of timeline. Because it's been a little confusing, and like we've tried to figure out the timeline, like, you know, before these comics came out as to how it fits, and you sort of get there. And then I remember really when the Thor Blu-ray came out and the Captain America Blu-rays came out, they had those little mini movies, and those kind of threw a wrench in the timeline ideas, because it was like, I didn't think that would come before, and then you were kind of like, I'm not sure where this fits.
Well, but we had originally had sort of an idea, and we were pretty close as far as
just a few things got flipped around.
There's a few things that we kind of thought they were going at the same time, and really they were kind of not going at the same time, and like there are like a bunch of different little bits and pieces of things that kind of make you like, oh well, there's no way that this can come before this because this happened, when it turns out that
it is possible, and you just didn't have the rest of the story.
Or you think, you know, it can't be this, it's got to be this, and it's something completely different.
Yeah.
So,
and the Fury's Big Week comics are a huge answer to that. It'll tell you everything. So here is the timeline, the official Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. So it starts obviously with Captain America. I shouldn't even have to say that. I mean, 1940. No.
Yeah. What we mean by that is not the beginning or the end of the movie, but right in the middle where all the action
plot,
happens.
The whole movie, pretty much, besides the modern day stuff. That comes first because 1940s, World War II.
Exactly.
Duh. Then there's Iron Man. The entire movie Iron Man. Done. Iron Man 2. Up until that scene by
where he's
the
sitting
donuts.
in the donut.
Yeah. That is actually the start of Fury's Big Week. And it is a big week.
It is a pretty big week.
Yeah, it kind of blew my mind a little bit that all took place in one week.
I know, I kind of feel bad for everybody in S.H.I.E.L.D.
I could not imagine that level of stress they had to deal with.
I seriously think that they have just nothing but psychiatrists in one part of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because those guys
I would have
somebody
gone
to talk to.
crazy having to deal with all this in a week. But so that is the start of the week, okay? And when that starts, Hulk, the Hulk movie is going on.
The good one, remember?
Yeah. And so that whole plot's going on. And then if you have Captain America on Blu-ray, then you know the short film, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Horse.
Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer. Thor's hammer. Anyways. I can't talk today.
The only thing I can think of is that interview with Tom Hiddleston where he said he has Mjolnir in his pants.
Yep. The hammer is his penis. But, so anyways, a funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer. That happens, if you haven't seen it, it's basically just, Coulson on his way to deal with,
he's so badass.
To get to New Mexico. But, and one little thing I gotta say is the part that's right before that would be when remember the scene in Iron Man 2 when Coulson walks in and he basically says goodbye to Tony when Tony's working on the new element, and so that happens, and then Coulson leaves to go to New Mexico.
And so that's the funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer.
And then there's the Iron Man 2 end credit scene, which is just when Coulson gets to New Mexico finally and goes, sir, we found it. And then there's Thor. Pretty much all of Thor is happening again during this same week. And
during
this is all going on at the same time.
During the Hulk happening,
Thor is also going on.
Yeah, messing up New York. Thor is over here screwing up things in New Mexico, and Coulson's trying to deal with that. And
crazy shit.
Yeah, there's people dealing
and then
with
there's Tony dying. There's crazy stuff going on.
Yeah,
and the Hammer Industries thing and Whiplash and all that.
Yeah, all of that's happening right now at the same time.
It's crazy. And then there's the end of Iron Man 2. Not the end credit scene, but the actual end where Fury's talking to him and says he wants to use Tony on a consulting basis. And then that leads to the bonus little mini movie in the Thor Blu-ray called The Consultant. And that one is basically, it's Agent Sitwell and Agent Coulson, and they're talking, and they don't actually say who it is, but you know that it's Tony.
They need a patsy.
Yeah, that they need a patsy. And they send Tony to go talk to General Thaddeus, because because he wanted to have Abomination be on the Avengers, and Fury was not having any of that.
Because Abomination was a soldier.
Yeah. So basically, they wanted to send someone there, even though they didn't know that they were a patsy. They were, and they sent Tony over there because they knew Tony would annoy him.
And then they said that they sent Tony over there to say he wanted Abomination
when he didn't,
and he didn't, and so I'm probably ruining this if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, you don't.
It's hilarious. It's a great.
It's really funny because at the end of The Consultant, it's hilarious because it's Sitwell and Coulson back in this diner talking, and they said that. Because what happens is Tony goes and meets General Ross in
General
a bar.
Ross tries to have him thrown out of the bar.
Yeah, and he buys the bar.
Yeah, Tony buys the bar, and then he goes, it's scheduled for demolition next Tuesday or whatever. It's the best. I love Tony so much. But yeah, that's my favorite little mini video, just because that exchange that they had is so great.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, and then obviously after The Consultant is the middle of The Consultant is the whole gang credit scene, then The Consultant ends. And then there's the Thor end credit scene where you see Dr. Selvig. He's talking to Fury about the Tesseract. And then you see
Loki.
Yeah, and then you see Loki's reflection, and he goes, I think that's worth a look. And and then according to the comics, an entire year passes after that scene, and during that year it looks like Selvig is working on the Tesseract, and while they're still handling government business. And there's also a hint at the Security Council. We don't get to see their faces in the comic, but Fury does talk to them, and they have a lot of sway. They were also trying to actually get him to not find Captain America because they wanted their sole focus to be on figuring out how to use the Tesseract's power.
And so he explains why everything that he's done in that week
has been for the Tesseract when it really hasn't. And then so that whole year passes as they're doing that, and then they finally have a breakthrough and they find Captain America, and that's how it ends. Them finding Captain America, they're going to go see him. And then before Fury goes to the Arctic to go find Steve, he leaves Hawkeye to keep watch over Selvig because he's heard
that he's been acting kind of cuckoo.
Yeah, and so he goes down to the little lab or wherever that Selvig is, and you can actually Selvig asked him if he was there in New Mexico.
And then it cuts to this
reflection, and you see Loki,
and
Loki goes, "I remember you," or something, and it's like,
and Selvig tells it to Hawkeye. So it's this
when we finished it, we were both just looked at each other going like, oh shit, and we were saying this for a minute straight. We were just like, oh my god.
It was we said it the exact same way and everything.
Yeah.
And
it's a big, like, oh my god. And yeah, this video is very spoilery. I'm gonna say spoilers for the comics, beware. But this isn't anything spoilery for the movie, because this is all before the movie.
Yeah, because we don't know anything about
it. We haven't seen the movie. Yeah. We're in America, where life sucks.
We're in America, where Joss Whedon hates us the most.
Yeah, at least we don't live in Japan, where they've got to wait until my birthday.
Yeah, sorry if there's any Japanese.
I would probably die if I was in Japan right now. Like, I'd be losing my mind. I'm losing my mind right now, and we've only got 5 days, not like
actually
112.
We have four days and
several hours.
7 hours.
It's great.
Yeah.
But this video is going way over. We wanted to really talk about the timeline. If you were confused and wanted to have this knowledge in your head before you go see the movie, so you're not like, if they do actually mention the timeline changes, which I'm probably sure they will, because this movie is now, like, it's 2.5 hours long, and Joss Whedon also said in an interview that the DVD Blu-ray is going to have an extra half hour plus of bonus scenes. So because when the movie the first draft of the movie was actually like 3 hours or just over 3 hours long. So yeah, this is gonna be quite the big movie. And
so be prepared for all the feels, the adrenaline, the goods, the bads, the tears, the laughs.
Well, I mean, you guys can leave a comment. If you have seen the movie, don't spoil a damn thing. I'm probably not even gonna read the comments until after May 4th.
Yeah, if you spoil it, we will find you
and
end you.
Yes, end your life. But so just
we mean it.
Happy Avengers week. We've only got one more week, man. So yeah.
Avengers.